Hello everyone, welcome back. You are watching the Data Labs. My name is Dilip. In this tutorial, we are going to learn about creating an employee data entry form with add, modify, delete and reset features. So without wasting our time, let's move to Excel window and develop this automated tracker quickly. This tutorial will be a little bit longer, so be with me till end to learn this automated tracker, right? I have divided this tutorial into three sections. First is designing user interface. Second one is writing Visual Basic application code. And the third one is testing the form. So let's start the designing form. So before designing the form, as you can see that there is no developer tab and I deliberately make it hidden. So let's enable this developer tab. Let's click on file menu and then option, and in Excel option window just click on customize ribbon, and in customize ribbon the right side section you just tick the developer tab like developer option here and click on OK. Now you can see that there is a developer tab is available over here. Now let's save this file. So let's click on file, then save as, and then just give the desired like the location which you want. So I'm just giving this location. Okay, just give the location over here, and do not forget to select the Excel macro enable workbook. The extension is .xlsm. Give the name as employee data entry form. Employee data entry form in Excel. Okay, now click on save. So here you can see that we have already successfully saved this employee data entry form in Excel with the extension of .xlsm, right? Do not forget to select this particular extension, otherwise you will not be able to retain the macro which you will write, right? So let's design the user interface. So first of all, let's double click on this sheet 1 and just give the name as form. Now click on add new worksheet and double click on it and give the name as a database. Okay, let's move to form, and so here we will utilize the form sheet for creating user interface like form, and the database worksheet basically to utilize this particular sheet as a database. Like so from form user will enter some information and that will get transferred to database, and database will keep maintaining the repository of each and every transaction, whatever the transaction will be performed by user. Maybe user will add, maybe modify or delete, or no delete action, like that user will take that action. Okay, so let's create the form first and then we will move to database. So to create the form first, we need to select the particular range. Like we are not utilizing advanced feature of form ActiveX control. We will utilize only couple of ActiveX control features, and rest will be Excel features basically, right? So let's select D3 and to M D3 M3, and we just select D3 to M4 and click on merge and center, right? Click on the color and select the color as gold accent and give the name as employee data entry form. Data. Okay, increase the size to 26, and the color should be it should be remain blank, like black, and let's increase the size column size here a little bit more. Yeah, so let's select this D2 to M22, D3 to M23 basically. Okay, and select the border. Again select the border, right, and again make the size, hide the column A and column B, and again to hide the column O to end. So basically just select the column O and press Ctrl Shift and right arrow to select entire column, and right click on that selected columns and click on hide. Okay, same goes for the below row. So just go down, leave one blank row here and select all the rows. So select this row number 25 and press Ctrl Shift and down key. Now you can see that all the rows have been selected. Now right click on the selected row and click on hide. Okay, so you can see that all those rows and columns, the unwanted rows and columns are hidden over here. So let's delete the row number 1 as well, okay, and reduce the size of column C, then column row number 1. Same goes for column N and for 23 as well. Okay, hide the column row 9 as well. So okay, now fill the color. The border color should be in blue. Now select this particular area where we need to add label and text box. Basically just go to the fill color and give the color as light green. So this is formatting is done. What we need to do, we need to give the label as well as the entry text field basically. So select the E6 to G6 basically. Click on merge and fill the color as white and give the name as employee ID. Make it left aligned. Copy this, leave this one blank row and paste over here. Give the name as label as basically employee name. Again copy this and leave the one row blank like this one, and so we need to leave a alternate blank row, and then we need to give the border, give the label. So the third option will be gender. Okay, same select with this, and then department. Okay, again copy this, paste over here, and then salary. Again copy this, and now we need to the last field, that is address. So see, in creating this form I am utilizing only 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so 6 fields. So this is for learning purpose. You can add more text field and label as per your requirement. So let's focus on only these fields basically. And now we need to give the border here. So just select this and press Ctrl 1. Maybe you can select all those fields basically, this one. So let's click on this, again this one, while pressing holding Control key and clicking left click on each and every cell. Now press Ctrl 1 for format cells and go to border, select this one, and click the bottom border. Okay, so now you can see that there is a border applied on the bottom side of each and every label here. Now let's reduce the size of each column. Okay, and now we have to create the text field where user can make the entry. Okay, so that should be we need to merge I6 to L6 basically. So just click over here and click on merge and center. Okay, fill color should be white, and now press Ctrl 1 while selecting this particular merged area. press Control 1 and select this border, click over here, bottom and right border. Okay, so you can see that this particular cell formatting has been done. So what we need to do, we need to apply the left formatting as well here. So just click on a left alignment basically. Now we have applied border, alignment, and back color, and we have already merged the cells. So let's copy this and make the duplicate entry for each and every field, respective field. Like this is for employee ID, this is for employee name, this will be for a gender, this will be for department, this is for salary, and this is for address. But address should be a little bit extra space basically, so we need to merge a couple of rows as well. So let's select all these rows, like row number 16, 17, 18 and 19. So I 16 to L 19, and click on merge and center, right? And again select this field, the address, and press Ctrl 1 and apply the bottom border and the right side border. Okay, that's it. So we have created the text field basically here. So this is done. Now we need to create a list, a drop down list for gender and department. So to create a list, just select this gender and go to data and data validation. Okay, so alternatively you can press Alt DLL. Okay, so once you press Alt DLL or click on data validation, this data validation window will appear. So in allow section, allow field, we need to select list, and in the source we just need to give the name. So first one should be female, and then second one should be male. Okay, click on OK. So now you can see that there are two options available, one is female and second one is male. In the department section we have to provide several departments like HR, operation, training and quality. So we will perform the same activity which we will done for gender. So again select the department, go to data tab and click on data validation. Alternatively you can press Alt DLL to launch the data validation window. So let's press Alt DLL. Okay, so now you can see that data validation window is available here on our screen. So in allow section, allow field, basically let's select the list, and here in source we need to provide the several options, like only 4 options. So first of all I'm going to enter HR, then operation, then training, and then quality. So only 4 fields I am going to 4 departments I have entered here. You can add more departments according to your requirements. Okay, now click on OK. So here you can select that this is a drop down list available when you select this particular range. So click on drop down. Now you can see that HR, operation, training and quality, all these 4 options are lists are available in this particular drop down. Now we have successfully created the labels and the text box where user will make some entry. Now we need to add 4 different types of button control over here, so that user can add on to save the entire entry and modify the whatever the entry made by user, again delete the existing entries or records and reset the form. So we need 4 different types of button over here, command button basically. So to insert the command button, let's click on developer tab, and in developer tab you can find a control groups here. Okay, so in control groups click on insert, and in insert you will find form controls and ActiveX controls. So see, we do not need to utilize the form controls because these are the basic controls which we can utilize of course, but we need to focus on some active advanced controls. So we are going to utilize this one, the command button ActiveX control, the very first one. Just click on that and click here. Okay, now you can see that this is available. Press Ctrl C, make a duplicate copy of these particular buttons. Again Ctrl V. I have copied the one control button and I'm pasting it again and again. Okay, So let's make it alignment, make the alignment here. Let's select all those buttons, like while holding control, control key, and press left click on each and every button. So now we have selected all those command button, and then go to format, and in alignment click on top alignment and distribute horizontally. Okay, so it has been equally distributed. Basically there is the space among each and every button, like is equal. Now we have to provide the name, like make the changes in buttons and formattings, and we have to provide some hotkey over here. So let's start with the save button. So let's click on go to develop, select the command button, go to developer tab here, and this is the properties. Just click on properties. Under control groups you will find the properties window, like properties. Just click on that, and once you click on that, then properties window will appear. So there are a lot of options available here. You can make it resize, change the color and all the things. So let's first of all let's select the change the name of this command button. So CMD and SAVE, this is CMD save. So CMD means command button, and save is this is for the purpose of saving the data, like transferring the data from this form to database, right? And this is for basically for coding purpose, so that whenever you will do some coding, you can easily identify, okay, the purpose of this particular command button is this, right? And accelerator, accelerator here is a hotkey basically. So if you will press enter S, then S will be get highlighted, like they will underline on that yes, and if you will press Alt plus S, then the active the function which has been assigned, or the function which we will assign on this particular button, that will be get triggered, right? It will work like hotkey basically. Okay, and here back color, so select the back colors, just select the green, and command the caption should be just give the caption as save. Okay, now you can see that S has been underlined. It means you can utilize the S as a hotkey. While pressing Alt and then S, you can perform the same activity, the activity which we will perform while clicking on this save button, right? Now quickly let's modify this second button as well. So the second button will be for modify. So let's change the name as CMD, that's a prefix, MODI, modify. So let's change the back color of this particular command button, that is for modify. So select the back color, and then click on palette. Color should be this one. Now give the accelerator as M, and change the caption to modify, right? Now select this one, the third button, that is for delete. So just give the name as CMD delete. Okay, and the accelerator should be D, and back color should be red one, this one. Okay, and change the caption, that is delete, right? Now we need to change the color and formatting for this, the last. Select this command button, the last button, and give the name as reset. So CMD RESET, CMD reset, and give the hotkey, like accelerator key is R, and then change the caption to RESET, reset, and then color, back color should be let's select this one, the pink one, maybe a little bit let's select this one, the yellow one. Okay, so now you can see that we have successfully created the form. This is the user interface. Basically we will utilize this form to make some entries, and all these buttons to transfer the data from this form to database, and then again fetching the data basis on some search field, and modified them, and again saving with the help of this, and deleting as well as, and also the reset the form. Here we will utilize the L1 and M1, this particular cell, to store the row number and and the serial number of a particular record where you are, suppose you are going to modify, and if you click on modify, then it will ask you to enter the serial number, and once you will enter the serial number, it will save the serial number in M1 cell and the respective row number in L1, so that after modification, once you click on save, then data will get stored on that particular records. It means that previous record will get replaced by the new records, right? So these are the two cell which we will utilize later on while doing coding. So let's move to database worksheet and create the header of the database. So let's add the required column header here. That first one will be serial number, then second one employee ID. Let's make it bigger over here. So let's select this, let's bigger column size. Okay, employee name, and fourth is gender, fifth one is department, sixth one is salary, and the seventh one is address. So you have noticed that I have added one extra field that will get automatically generated, and all these columns are the field available in that particular form. Apart from all these fields, we have to add two additional fields. One is for submitted by, so that we can capture the username who is feeding the information, right? And the capture like submitted on what which date or which time user has submitted. So let's give the column header as submitted by, submitted on. Okay, so these are the columns. We have total 9 columns which we are going to utilize. 3 are auto generated, that is serial number, submitted by, and submitted on, and rest of 6 are coming from this form, right? So let's make the column size a little bit larger, so that you can easily see the header section over here. Okay, just create some room and just go to home tab, and make the center alignment. Now select this, fill color should be maybe this one dark, the blue color, and font color should be white. Click on bold, and maybe you can increase the size a little bit more. So you can see that we have successfully created the column header, required column header. Let's go to view tab and remove the grid lines. Okay, now select the couple of rows over here and make it give the border color. So to do that, either you can utilize with the help of this border section, or you can press Ctrl 1. So here in format cell, click on border, and then just select this one first and give the color as green. Select this. Okay, so now you can see that we have successfully given the border color of each and every cell here. And now our designing part of this form is ready. We have created a form section and the database section over here. Now the next part is Visual Basic Code. So let's start doing the Visual Basic Code. So to do that, we have to jump over Visual Basic application window. So let's click on Developer tab, and in Developer tab you can see the code group here. So in code group, just click on Visual Basic, this particular button. Alternatively, you can press Alt plus F11 key to jump from Excel to Visual Basic application. So let's utilize this feature, like the button, click on this. Now we need to do all the codings here. So before starting the coding, let me tell you that in coding section we are going to write several codes. So basically we will write some functions and some sub procedure, and then we will assign all those function and sub procedure on some basically on events like button click. So basically we will create 5 different types of functions or sub procedure to handle all those tasks. First one is validate, the second one is reset. Validate means validating the entire entry which will be done by user. Reset will work like once we will utilize that particular sub procedure, then it will reset the data available in that particular form. And save will be a sub procedure which we will utilize to transfer the data from uh, form to database. And modify, so modify will be also a sub procedure. We will utilize that sub procedure to modify the existing records, right? Fetching the existing records, and then we will make some modification, and then we will click on save, right? The last is delete basically. So delete will be the procedure, so that once you will click on delete, it will ask the record number, and you will provide the serial number, and it will delete the records. So these basically, there are 5 different functions and procedure we are going to utilize here. So let's start doing the coding. So to do that, we have to insert a module. So click on insert and click on module. Okay, so module is nothing but is a code container where you can write in the code, and you can easily access all those code available here on like any of the events like which we are performing, or we can call all those procedures and function in sheet 1, sheet 2, and this workbook. Okay, so first of all, let's start the coding for validate. So for validation, we will utilize the function basically, not the sub procedure, because function returns some value. Okay, and we need boolean value, either true or false. If entire data will be valid according to our validation, then it will return true, otherwise it will return false. And on the basis of true and false, we will give a message to user that okay, you have made some entries that is incorrect, and then user will be able to know that okay, user has done some mistake, and he or she will make some modification, and then click on save button, and again it will validate the data with the help of validate function. And if everything will be successful, like as per our validation, then it will transfer the data from form to database. So let's start writing the code for function. So function, always start with function. Okay, and the name should be I am just giving the name as validate, bracket start and bracket closed. And the data types of this validate function should be boolean, because I already told you that it will return either true or false, right? Press enter and just create some room over here so that you can easily write the code and make some alignment, and that will be visible. Okay, so here we need to declare a variable that is called worksheet sheet variable. So dim frm as worksheet. Okay, so this is this particular variable is to refer the form, this particular worksheet, sheet 1, right? And set the form as set frm is equal to this sheets form. Now as I already told you that validate is also a variable. So initially we are just assuming that okay, validate is true. It means whatever the data has been entered by user is true. So let's initiate this variable with true. Okay, and then after, like on the validation on the criteria, we will make it false. Okay, so let's start with block with frm is worksheet name, that is form. It means we are referring the form, and make end with. So we need to write the code in with block, within the with block. So let's move to Excel worksheet, basically Excel here, and here you can see that the range is I6, I8, I10, I12, I14 and I16. So we need to validate all those entries, like all those fields available here. Okay, so we will give the reference and we will apply some validation, and if that validation will okay, then we will pass okay, like we will keep the value of validate function as a true, otherwise we will make it false. So let's move to Visual Basic window again, and let's start the coding. So range, I told you that the employee ID range is I6, so I6 dot make it first of all. So basically we need to assign the color, like we need to assign the color as white. Basically it means we do not know, we need to remove the colors available in that particular cell. So and that's why we are going to utilize the with this particular section. So we range I6 dot interior dot color is equal to XL none. So suppose you have validated the data and it has been highlighted with red, and later on you made some correct entries, and once then again you are clicking on save button, then again it will validate. It means first of all we need to remove the previous highlighted color. Okay, and that's why we are utilizing this this particular section. So let's copy this and quickly make 6 times 5 and 6. So we have 6, let's give the value as 8, because we have left one alternate row over there. 10, 12, 14, and the last, that is address, is 16 or 16. Okay, now we need to validate each and every entry. It means we have to validate the employee ID, employee name, and each and every field over here, right? So let's start validating the first field, that is employee ID. So let's put comment over here, validating employee ID. And okay, so let's start the coding. If structure, if stream, and frm dot range I6 dot value, okay, is equal to blank. Then message box employee ID is blank. So I'm applying simple validation. You can add more validation on this, like checking whether the employee ID is number or any alphanumeric characters, or either any limitation like size or anything else. Okay, here VV okay only plus VV information and the employee ID. Okay, here we need to select this particular cell, this one I6. So frm dot range I6 dot value dot select, basically. So we need to select so that user can easily enter, okay, this particular field has been selected. It means user need to enter the information over there. Now we need to highlight this particular cell with red color. So frm dot range I6 dot interior dot color is equal to XL red. Okay, sorry, not XL red, it's VV red, right? Okay, now we have successfully highlighted this particular cell. We need to assign, because see, validation is not like it is no longer true. Basically validation is getting not meeting the target, basically the criteria. So let's copy this and paste over here and make it false. Okay, and what we need to do, we need to exit from this particular function. Then here you can write exit function. Okay, now click enter end if. So this is for validating employee ID. Let's copy this and paste it for validating employee name as well. So we will utilize this code for validating employee name. Just change the comments and replace the id with name, and reference i6 should be i8, and id again here employee id should be employee name, and here employee name. Okay, 6, replace the 6 with 8, and again here with 8. So this is done for validating employee name. Now we need to validate gender. Let's again copy this particular section of code and just make enter, create some room over here, paste it over here, validating gender, G and D here. And now here we do not need to check whether this is blank or not. No, the gender should be either male or female. So first of all, let's select this, change the reference, like gender should be on 10, and then value is not equal to female. Again copy this, okay, and this particular again for male. So here we can see that, okay, trim the FRM range i10 dot value. If that value is not female and again that value is not male, it means either it is not female or male. It means we are not meeting the target, like criteria. We have entered or selected some other values, and that's why so in that case we need to pass a message. So we need to please select valid gender from drop down. Okay, and we will okay only information gender. Here we need to select this, so just change the reference i10 to i8 to i10, and again FRM i8 to i10, and then everything goes away. So we have completed the validation coding for gender, right? What now we need to do for department name. Let's copy the same code for gender and replicate the same for department as well. So paste over here and change the comment section, like validating gender to department. Okay, so see, in department we have considered HR, operation, training and quality. So we have already two sections over here, the male and female. So we need to replicate these fields. We should have four validation. Here we have two validations, so let's copy this and line break, enter it and paste over here. Okay, and press end, enter end. So now we need to give the reference, just change the reference, i10 should be i12, again here i10 should be i12, again here i10 should be i12, and then again 12. Okay, and the values that are female, so let's replace all those four fields with the relevant department name. So operation, not operation, basically HR, and then operation, okay, then training, and the last one is quality. So these four are department which we have mentioned, which we have added in our drop down list. Now we give the message. If that particular condition will not meet, then we will have to pass a message to user. So message will be please select valid department name from drop down, and it is okay only information, and that is department. And now we need to select that particular range. So cell, so i12, we need to make the change the color of that particular cell. Again that will be 12. Validate is equal to false because we are not meeting the condition, and exit function, we are exiting the function as we will not be able to proceed in case any user has already entered incorrect value. So now it's done for department. Now we need to do the validation for salary. So let's select this again, validating gender here, this particular code, and copy this and paste over here, and validating salary, right. Let's move to a little bit downside. Okay, so validating salary. So salary is available in row number 14. So first let's make the changes in 14 first, and then again first 14. Okay, so here we need to validate whether the row number like I14 is blank, is not equal to blank. So if that will be blank, or here we will put the condition or, and then we need to pass like not is numeric. If that will, the value user has been entered by user is not numeric, okay, and then it means we are not meeting the criteria while entering the validation like salary in our field. So that should be either, that should not be blank, or whatever the input has been done by user, that should be numeric. Okay, so there are two criteria, that is, one is blank, not equal to blank, and not equal to it should be is numeric, right, is number basically. Now we need to give the message as please enter valid salary, and this gender should be salary, and here 14 should be like I10 because we are validating salary, so salary is available in 14, row number 14, again change the 14. So we have done with validating salary. Now the last validation is pending, that is address validation. So for address validation we can copy this field as well, it will work, this particular code for validating salary, and paste over here. Okay, just move downside and just click the change the commentary as validating address. Okay, so now we need to check whether address is blank or not. So we need to remove this particular second validation and trim the range is I16. If that is blank, and again the same is here we need to give the equal to sign, because see, if salary is blank or is numeric, I'm sorry, I should change the like not equal to sign to equal to sign, but we have modified now, so it should be equal to sign. Again same goes for if the I16, that is address, is blank, it means user has not entered address. So please enter valid address. Okay, and here address FRM range 16 and 16. Okay, so we have done with address validation, and the code is done for validating the entry. So let's compile this. Compile. Here you can see that we have done some there is a typo error. So basically the spelling of false I have written is FALSE. I think this mistake is available in every section of because we just copied and pasted it. So replace the false again. Okay, so we have successfully replaced the incorrect spelling of false. Now let's again go to debug and compile. So now you can see that there is no error in that particular whatever the code we have written as of now. So we covered the function, like we have completed the function validate. Now we need to write the code for reset. Okay, so let's come down and click here, like enter some line break and start writing the code. So as for validation we utilize the function. Now for reset we will use sub procedure. So sub procedure always start with sub and then give the name as whatever the name you want. So I'm just giving the name as reset, bracket open, bracket close, and press enter. So once you will press enter, you can see that there is end sub, and this on additional line has been added by Visual Basic application. So now we need to write all the statement like lines of code over here in this middle of this. So let's create some room over here. This unwanted line, yeah. Okay, so let's start writing the code. So we will utilize the with block. So with sheets, and the sheet name is form, right, and with. Now on reset we need to reset the color as well as value. So whatever the color has been highlighted or maybe available on each and every field, we need to remove those colors, as well as whatever the values has been selected or entered by user, we need to remove that one as well. Okay, so let's give the range, and here I6 dot interior dot color is equal to XL none. Okay, and again range I6 dot value is equal to blank. So this is for employee ID. Again we need to replicate the same thing for other section like employee name, salary, department, address, and gender as well. So let's replicate this particular line of code 5 times. So let's give the line break over here, then paste it again, give line break, paste it 3 4 5 6. So we have 6 different field over there, and we have replicated this line of code 6 times. So first is I6, then we need to change the row number I8. Okay, then I10, then again it's I12. Basically there is one row gap, I14 and I16. Okay, so now the code for reset is done. Let's debug this, compile. Now you can see that there is no error. Now we need to write the code for save. Okay, so let's start writing the code for save. So again in the same way we need to give the reference, write the sub and give the name as save, bracket start, bracket closed, and press enter, and just create some room over here. So here as I already told you that, let me go to the Excel window, and I already told you that we are utilizing L1 and M1 cell to store row number as well as serial number, so that we can use all these two values while modifying the records. So same way we will keep in mind while writing the code. So let's move to Visual Basic window and start the writing. So let's declare some variable first of all. So dim frm as worksheet, again another dim data base as worksheet. Okay, and now we need to declare two variables more. So dim I row as long, dim I serial as long. Okay, let's set the both the worksheet. So set frm is equal to this book dot sheets form, again set database is equal to this book dot worksheets database. Very simple. So we have successfully set both these this form, like this worksheet and this worksheet, with form and database, right? You can see that database and form here. Now we need to check some condition, like if the value, like if there is no value over here, like M1, there is no row number and no serial numbers, then we need to identify the row number as well as the next serial number from this particular database. Okay, so let's move to Visual Basic and start the coding. If trim that form, basically the from form range M1 dot value is equal to blank, then it means there is no row number or serial number available. We are just going to enter some new records. No, we're not modifying the records. In that case, we need to find the row number and serial number from database. Okay, so in that case our I and row should be database dot range, and the range a ampersand application dot rows dot count, right? And then end excel up. Okay, dot row plus 1. Okay, and then I serial is equal to database dot cells, then the I row, the row number, the previous row number, basically it means, and 1 dot value plus 1. It means whatever the value is available in previous row in column A, we are adding 1 plus in that particular value, and that will become our next serial number. Okay, so if else, we need to give, and if that M1 has some value, it means we are going to modify, then we need to give the, like, set the reference to I row will be frm dot range L1 dot value, and I serial will be frm dot range M1 dot value. That will be value, not validation. Okay, now let's end if. So we have successfully like we have assigned the value for I row and I serial, so that we can paste the data in next row, and we can use the serial number as well. Okay, so now we need to move the data from the form to database. So let's start using with database and with. Okay, let's go down here. Now dot cells I row and then 1. This dot value is equal to, this is for serial number, so if we will use I serial here, I-S-E-R-I-A-L serial. Okay, now same, just copy this particular this copy and paste over here. This is for employee employee ID, so I row plus and the column will be 2, dot value is equal to frm dot range I6 dot value. Okay, copy this particular line of code and replicate 5 times more. 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, so let's I2 make thing I3, I4, I5, like sorry, row number column number 5, 6 and 7, column number 7. Okay, and here 6, I6, I8, I10, I12, I14, I16. Okay, now we need to assign the value for submitted on and submitted by. So first is submitted by and then submitted on. So let's copy this, paste over here, and this would be I7. This is 8, column number 8, and then we need to assign the username, application dot user name. Okay, again this copy this particular line of code, and this is for submitted on. So this is the column should be 9, and here we need to give the range as not a range. Here we need to give the value of, like, we will utilize formula. So let's text, then now function, and then here dd yyyy space hh ss bracket. Let's close the bracket. Okay, now end with, now here once we will submit the data, we need to remove the value which is available in this particular cell, like L1 and M1. Okay, so let's clear the value. So frm dot range L1 dot value is equal to blank. Now copy this line of code. You can also write L1 to M1 like this one, but just for reading so that you can easily read this and understand this, I am replicating this code and just make this M1. So it means we are removing the data, whatever the data is available in L1 and M1. Okay, so the code for save is done. Now we need to write the code for modify. So let's enter one more, some space over here, and start writing the code. First modify, so sub and m modify, start and end bracket. Okay, so basically we need to declare two variables here. One is iSerial and one is iRow, so that it will hold the serial number as well as the row number, so that whenever we will make modification, post modification, once you will click on save button, save function will utilize both the numbers to update the data, existing data basically. So let's declare dim iRow as long, dim iSerial as long. Okay, now we need to identify the serial number. Okay, so not basically we need to get the input from user, so that user will input the serial number, and then with the help of that serial number we will identify the iRow and we will make the modification, right? So first of all, let's let's get the input from user. iSerial is equal to application dot input box. Okay, just prompt as a string should be please enter serial number to make modification. Okay, or make or modify the records basically, comma, title should be modified. Okay, default we'll keep it blank, left it should be blank, top blank, help file blank, help context id blank, and type should be one is for number. So we this application.input will accept only numeric value, it will not accept any text value or anything else. And that's why I'm giving the last parameter as 1. So here we have done. Let's make it roam over here so that you can easily see the screen on your screen, the entire coding. Now we need to write the code. Let's assuming that if there would be any error, so let's write the code on error resume next. Okay, now we need to identify the row number with the help of serial numbers. So whatever the serial numbers have been entered by user, so let's I row is equal to we will utilize the function that is called worksheet function, match function basically. So let's start writing application dot worksheet function dot match, right? And the first argument and that is I serial, this one. So I serial, and where we need to find in the column a column in database. So let's start writing the code. Sheets database dot range a column only. Okay, entire column we need to find, comma 0. So what will it do? It will provide the row number of that serial number. But suppose if the serial number will not be available in database, then in that case it will give it will prompt an error. So to handle the error, we will utilize one more function, that is if error. So let's encapsulate this particular function with again if error. So application dot if application dot worksheet function dot if error, and then bracket start, and then just go here and then bracket close. Okay, let me make some room over here again. Okay, so let me make it in 2 lines so that you can easily see this. So we utilize underscore and then break the line to continue the make it in like it will consider compiler will consider the same line. Okay, so this is done. So now we have I row and I serial number for modification. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to assign basically so here suppose if I row is 0, basically if there is no value here, application comma 0, right? So if there will be any error or the value will not be found over here, right, then it will return the 0, right? So in that case we have to prompt a message to user, okay, stating that no records found. So in that case we need to write the I row is equal to 0, then message box no record found. Okay, vv okay plus vv critical and no record, the title should be no record. Okay, and here that should be exit sub, and then and if it means there is no record found, it means we do not need to proceed ahead, right? Now we need to assign the, suppose like we row number found and we have serial numbers, so we need to assign those row number and the serial number in a range L1, cell L1 and M1 in form worksheet. So let's write the code. So let's assign the I serial number and I row to respective cell. So So here sheets form dot range L1 dot value is equal to I row. Again sheets form dot range M1 dot value is equal to I serial. So here we are storing I row and I serial number in L1 and M1 cell on form. Okay, now we need to fetch the respective record from database to form. So let's write the code for that. So first of all, sheets form dot range I6 dot value is equal to, okay, sheets database dot cells, and the cells is we need to pass I row here, and the column number should be 2 dot value. So this is for employee ID. Let's copy this particular line of code and replicate for other fields like employee name, gender, department, salary, address. So we have 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's change the reference. I6 should be I8, and here 6 should be then 10, then 12, 14 and 16. Okay, here we need to change the column number. So 2, then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, now that's done. So basically we have successfully written down the code for modify, and now let's go to debug and compile. So you can see that there is no error in whatever the code we have written as of now. Now we need to write the code to delete the records basically. Okay, so let's start writing the code. Again sub delete, create some room over here, then start writing the code. So here we need to declare the variable I row and I serial number as again. So dim I row as long, dim I is serial as long, right? And again we need to get the input from user so that we can find the serial number and delete that particular record from our database. So let's again utilize. So I serial is equal to application dot input box, and then prompt please enter serial number to delete the record. Okay, and the prompt should be delete, and the default blank, left blank, top blank, help file blank, help context ID blank, and type is equal to 1. Okay, so we will get input from user, and again let's write the code on error, resume next, and now start writing the code to find out the row. I row is equal to, again we will utilize the same same function or same line of code which we have already written in modify. So let's copy this and here we forget to write the code on error go to 0, right? And let's copy this code, because see, the same line of code we need to write over here in delete section. So let's copy paste over here. Okay, and now again we need to identify if I row is equal to 0, then if I row is equal to 0, then we need to prompt, and if message box here, message box no record found, right, no record found, VB okay only plus VB critical and no record. Okay, and like let's build exit sub. Okay, if there is no, suppose there is no record, then it will exit from this delete, otherwise it will no, the other line of code will run. So here we need to give the line of we need to write a code so that we can delete that particular record from the database. So let's write the code: sheets database dot cells I row, and then 1 we need to, then like I row is row number and the 1 is no column basically. So we are just selecting a particular cell of that particular, in the first cell of that particular row, and then we are just deleting, like selecting entire row, then dot delete, and then shift Excel up. Okay, so this is done. So deleting part is done. Let's click on debug, compile. We have successfully written down the code for, let's go to beginning of the code, like validate, then reset, then save, then modify, then delete. Okay, so we have completed all those codings, basically functional procedures. Now we need to assign all these, we need to call all these functions and sub procedure on click events of a particular button. So let's move to Excel window and click on design mode and double click on design mode and double click on save. So here you can see that on private sub cmd save underscore click, on click events we need to call that function. So okay, so what we need to do, we need to first of all we need to validate. So we have already a function that is validate. So if validate is equal to true, then and if, then we need to call the sub function. So here we need to declare a variable dim msg value as VB message box result, right, and msgv value is equal to, see, message box, do you want to save the data, right. Here we need to give the two options, VB yes or no. Here we need to give the plus VB question and VB question, and title should be save. Okay, so suppose if user is saying that okay, if msgv value is equal to VB yes, then here and if, and now we need to call save. Okay, so basically we are validating, like if the validation is true, then we are declaring a variable to store the message box result, and if the user is confirming okay, user wants to transfer the data, if that is yes, user click on yes. Okay, then it will call this procedure, sub procedure like save, and it will transfer the data, right. and once it will transfer, we need to reset the value of that particular form, so call reset reset. Okay, simple. Now again jump to Excel window. We have successfully assigned the code on save button. We need to click on modify, right? Here we need to again declare a variable msg value as vv message box result. msg value is equal to msg box. Do you want to modify the record? vv yes no plus vv question and here modify. Okay, bracket close. If msg value is equal to vv yes, then here, and if user will click on vv no, then it will not perform any of the activity. So here we need to call modify. Okay, now let's move to Excel window again, and we need to click on reset. So just double click on reset. Again copy the code, whatever the code we have written over here in cmd modify, and just paste over here. And do you want to delete the record, right? vvs no, here we need to change it to delete, and message box value vvs, then call delete. Simple. Now again move to Excel window, and we have successfully assigned the code on delete. Now the pending is reset, so just double click on reset, and again we need to copy the same code, the modify, and paste it in cmd reset underscore click. Do you want to reset the form, and the caption should be a reset vvs, then reset. Okay, so you can see that we have assigned the code on each and every button. So let's go to debug and compile VBA project. Now you can see that there is no error. Just click on save and jump to Visual Basic, Microsoft Excel. Now let's start making some entry and see whether it's working or not. So let's start 255 and my name and Dilip. Gender, select the gender as male. Department, you can maybe quality. Salary 1 2 3 4, like any of the numbers, don't go by this number. And address New Delhi, right? Make it line back wrap text. Okay, this one step. Now we have also, so first of all we need to validate, like we need to test this properly. So let's I'm deleting this particular record and just now clicking on save button. So come out from design mode and clicking on save. So here you can see that, so I deliberately leave this employee name blank. Now it's saying that employee name is blank. Click on OK. So once you click on OK, it has been highlighted with red color. So let's delete male and now enter value for name. So what will we, next time whenever I will click on this save, it will clear the formatting because it has value, and now it will highlight this and pop up a message saying that gender you need to select the value from drop down. So let's click on save. You can see here it's saying please select valid gender from drop down. Click on OK, and now you can observe that the formatting has been restored basically. click on OK. Now you can see that this has been highlighted with red color. So let's select the male. Okay, and assuming that our validation will work in the same way, let's click on save. And it is asking, basically it's asking a confirmation, do you want to save the data? Yes. Now you can see that there is an error. So okay, so in this case, basically, so suppose I row is equal to 2. Here we are given some I row is equal to 2, then we need to else this line of code will work, right? Basically, see, we are on the very first row and there is no the previous cell value has no serial number, and that's why it's not performing, it's showing error. So here we need to serial number here is equal to 1. Now stop this, and here I row, right? Let's move to Excel. Now click on save. Do you want to save the data? Yes. Now you can see that entire form has been reset, and let's move to database, and you can see that this is serial number 1 255 Dilip male, quality salary New Delhi, and the username is the data labs, and submitted on the time and date. So let's move to again, let's enter some more information. 1452. Now it's asked yes, go to database. You can see that second record has been entered. Let's move to form, make one more entry. Yes, so now we have 3 records. Let's go to form and let's click on modify to modify the existing record. So do you want to modify the record? Yes. So we need to I just want to modify the row, the first record basically, which has serial number 1. Click on OK. Now you can see that you can see the value over here 1 and 2, and we will this particular code will utilize this code. Okay, so let's change the name, like maybe I just want to change from Dilip Kumar Tiwari to Dilip, and let's make it some salary like this, and click on save. Again it will ask, do you want to save? Yes. Let's go to database, and you can see that the first record has been changed and having the same serial number, but the time has been changed accordingly. Okay, let's go to form, utilize the delete record. So let's click on yes. Do you want to delete? Yes. Cancel. Okay, let's go to and I think we have while calling the function on sheet 1, we just call the delete. So delete records. So let's change the name, delete record, right? And copy this and just give the name, change the name here, delete to delete records, because I think there is inbuilt function. Okay, let's go to Excel, and now click on delete. Yes, enter the serial number. I just want to delete the first record. Click on OK, and now you can see that the first record has been deleted successfully. Okay, click on form, and let's make some entry, maybe this one, like employee ID, this one, mail, department should be operations, salary like this one, and you just want to reset the form. So let's click on reset. It will get a confirmation. Do you want to reset the form? Yes. Now you can see that this has been reset. So this particular form is working perfectly, and we have successfully completed the coding, basically designing, coding and testing part. So in this way you can design a lot of employee data entry form, maybe quality, audit form, some training and transaction or operational transaction form. And this is a basic example. In our next video we will learn some advanced techniques on creating the form on form, basically form control, not on Excel sheet. And there is one drawback I just want to highlight over here is you can't set tab order over here. So there is no option to set a tab order on Excel worksheet, basically the worksheet based form. If you will go for form based form, then you can definitely assign the tab order. So that's it for today. Hope you liked this video and that video will be very helpful. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe and comment. Have a great day. Bye bye.